This video was voted for by our Discord. You can check the video's description or the description for the channel. Colossus is the focus for this video, but we will focus a little bit on Tails Doll in 2011X. There is a small amount of Fleetway theory crafting. Fleetway is going to be a semi-counter to Metal Sonic because of his flight and movement abilities. But that does not mean that Metal Sonic is completely useless. It just means a lot of his main abilities will be harder to use against specifically Fleetway. Metal Sonic is a good BA tier character. They are not as good as Silver or Blaze, who do not really have much punishment for failing or hitting their abilities. Meanwhile, Metal Sonic, it does semi-balance out how long their stun is, but in order to escape after using a stun, they've lost a decent amount of their health. They lost their main movement ability for escaping. Eventually Grapple Hook will be added, which will be very helpful for Metal Sonic, but it does not mean that they are the best post-stun. They are really good before their stun, but afterwards they're kind of like a sitting duck, and they do need more team help. This guide is more how to be independent and how to properly utilize your team. There will be 2 medals that we'll go over. They're the same character, of course, but each one has a different mindset. And since this is a mindset guide alongside an ability guide, overall, it's good to know. Metal Sonic has 3 passives. He has Proximity Warning, which will basically... it pings, the faster it pings, the closer the EXE is, which is really helpful for healing and knowing what you should do. I would not recommend relying too much on it against 2011X because of his invisibility and teleport. It is very helpful against invisibility, but teleport, you need to make sure you start healing after they use their teleport, so that way or God's Trickery, after they use their God's Trickery. It's so that way you don't get teleported on while you're healing. You got the damage resistance, which basically doubles his health for anything besides true damage, which would be all the charge abilities, which like charge and grab abilities, and which would mean 2011X's grab, Colossus's grab, and discharge, and Tails Doll's reach out. All of those deal true damage, which gets completely bypasses that armor or more. And then you have it's a good and a bad thing, and because of this, it's the only reason he has so much HP, the only reason he's so bulky, it's to make up for this. He has self-destruct. Instead of going down, he'll just explode. That means he does not have 2 lives like the rest of the characters. He only has 1, and 1 down is all it takes for death. This makes him really bad in prolonged chases, but it makes him really good to occupy attention from the killer. A good metal player will try to take attention, but also they'll also know when to back off, so that way they can heal. And a good team will help their Metal Sonic, but a lot of the time teams will just think Metal Sonic can handle themselves. And unlike with Sonic, Tails, or even or especially Cream, they'll just kind of leave Metal Sonic for death. And it is very frustrating, especially for me, because whenever I die, I'll check Spectator, and then you'll have everyone emoting in the corner of "You can't run" after watching me get tunneled for the entire rage. I'm a little bit salty.
My penis itches.
But with that in mind, if you have friends on call, your Metal Sonic basically jumps from a B to A and S.
Well, I never said you guys had to stop playing.
Because Eggman allows for you to slam the EXE, and if you slam them early enough, you can actually heal off all the damage if Eggman's right near you before they get unstunned.
Well, that's nice of you, Marty Don, but if you want to keep playing,
especially if you have a Sonic to stack stuns with, you can basically do an infinite. when you play, these are just like the basic abilities. You have to charge and the heal. That's his only two abilities right now. When he gets his grapple, he's gonna be a lot better because his main struggle right now is escaping chase after he stuns.
Where are you?
Hopefully they'll give him like a 10-second cooldown after slamming an EXE for his grapple. That, or they'll just make grapple cooldown really long.
I walked into a
But
store
right
and
now,
I said,
Metal
"Is this
Sonic
a robbery?" Then
is
I
already a
out
good
the
character.
store
Grapple
with
is just
like
gonna make
50
him that
pounds
much
of
better.
cheese.
I'm gonna love Grapple. I already love Metal Sonic for his movement and abilities. Grapple's just gonna make him so much more fun.
Playing JJS.
But at this moment,
somebody, but I don't know exactly
the best maps for him are X's Castle. You Can't Run, and it's both his best and worst map depending on what's going on.
You guys said
Angel Island. So Angel Island, I do want to say, it is horrible, absolutely horrible for low level Metal Sonics. I'm not saying I'm a high level. I'm just saying I'm a pretty decent Metal Sonic. But Angel Island is horrible because every single torch has collision, and there's these bunch of little jags that Metal Sonic's charge catches on. It's horrible, but after you do it enough, you'll start remembering each point of interest you'll have to dodge. But once you get to that like point, Angel Island is great for Metal Sonic because you have this long bridge area that leads to a really good heal spot that also has this spot right underneath, like inside the ruins on this rock. It gives you two exits. You can jump 3 exits actually. You could go down under the platform, you can jump on top of the platform, or you can turn around and run through the other exit. You Can't Run is good because it has this big pier alongside a bunch of little back areas for an Eggman to help you heal with. What was the last one? Oh, X's Castle is just overall a good one. It's got long straightaways. It's pretty narrow, but it's not horribly narrow. And a good Metal Sonic can basically turn this into a sandbox playground for like stalling chases. Metal Sonic is best against Tails Doll on 2011 X. This video is about Colossus, but the problem is Colossus is just really good against a Metal Sonic that doesn't have a team. Metal Sonic has a lot of health, but Colossus takes a lot of health. And because of this, if you don't have a good team backing you up, Colossus can speed your charge. He could keep up pressure pretty well through chase, and if you try to run away and heal, he can use his indicator to find you. Now that we've gone over the very basics of Metal Sonic himself with all of his abilities, Rage Metal is a very easy to understand, very basic Metal Sonic. You don't care about living. Your goal is... Now that we've gone over the very basics of Metal Sonic himself with all of his abilities, Rage Metal is a very easy to understand, very basic Metal Sonic. You don't care about living. Your goal is to take up the spotlight and waste as much time for the killer as possible without actually running away and healing off in a corner. If you have an Eggman, you can ask them to be aggressive with you and help you, because what you can do is with an Eggman, you know how when you're at full 175 HP, you can heal before the EXE is unstunned. You can do the same thing with Eggman. Just so you don't have to be at full HP. You just have to be at anywhere between 157 to 130, and you'll barely get away with it if you're at 130 though. So do beware of that. If you're going against a Colossus, I would not recommend trying to do that Eggman technique against a Colossus while at 130 pre-slam. Remember, pre-slam, this is pre-slam healths. As long as you slam within 3 ticks of self-damage during the drag. The drag is the time before it. You see little white particles. These white particles are what I'm considering the ticks. Rage Metal is mostly just about keeping near the EXE, and it's less useful in V2 than it is at V1, because during V1, 2011 X-Mains would target the shit out of Metal. Now that we got the surprisingly short Rage Metal section done, keep in mind it's mechanical skill over game knowledge in Rage Metal's category. Let's get into Sustain Metal. This is the longest portion and honestly the best version of Metal if you want to play Metal well. The best thing to know about Sustain Metal is good healing locations. I want to talk about the heal locations I glossed over earlier here. So there are around 2 good major locations per map. Let's start off. For You Can't Run, it is that pier high up and then you have the spot where the hole used to lead to. Sorry about my nose, by the way. Those 2 are really good. You also have the bridge if you're going against a 2011X, and maybe a tripwire. It depends on how good they are. Now you have X's Castle. You have the back area with the spot you can hop over, and the spot away with the stairs. I'll pull up a recording and picture showing off the locations. Now, then you have for Cavern, you have the spot leading away using charge. You have the spot that leads to the little pier area. It's good against 2011X and the Colossus. Though if a Colossus is trying to find you, they will find you because they have the climbing ability. Tripwire can just jump over it. And then you have the next area over hidden next to... no one ever really goes there, so it's a good spot to try to get away. And then you have the really good loop spot if you have 2 to 3 ticks. Anything longer than 2 to 3 ticks is a little bit dangerous. If they're in the middle of chase, you're capable of doing it slightly safely. Not the safest thing, but it is safe enough. You have Green Hill. This one's not really good. You have that one spot, as we call it, and the bridge, depending on who you're going against. When Fleetway comes, that's going to be horrible. Now we have never go to the Master Emerald, because everyone wants to go there. There's not really a bunch of backward, hidden areas on this map. I feel like it's actually a pretty well designed map and an update full of putting it plainly, shitty maps. Just horribly designed maps, because Green Hill with the damn pool.
Get hold of this.
Oh yeah.
Loser.
Speaking of Green Hill, we do also have that one area hidden with behind the lake.
Yeah, climb. Chase me.
What other maps are there for? Let me check. We got.
Fucking dumbass. I got stuck. I couldn't run. I was like stuck in a
Green
corner.
Hill, Hill Gem. You can't run.
What?
Can't say swears, Santa. Naughty.
Let's look at the current in rotation maps. Mirage Saloon is not even out yet. We got like a whole bunch of. I'm so aware if that picks up on the recording. But yeah, you got Mystic Cave. Oh yeah, for Not Perfect, it's just on top of the towers. That's honestly the best you're going to get on Not Perfect. It's not really a good map for metal. Here's a good spot. Yeah. The best strategy for the persistence kind of sustained metal playstyle is just to know when to get in and out of chase. The better you are at knowing when to leave and when to heal, the better you'll just be in general. This playstyle is much more knowledge based and intuition based rather than Rage Metal's pure mechanical. But knowing when you're getting targeted and knowing how to avoid getting targeted and knowing how to get out of the spotlight when you're getting targeted is the main thing you should know. This version of Metal is a lot stronger past V0.2 because people don't target Metal as much anymore. People don't target Cream as much anymore either, just because it's a much more healthy place in every way but killer balance, which I think Colossus is the main reason you don't get targeted as much, because he's just a fright train. Everyone near him is going to take damage, which I am salty because of how good he is. But I do understand that this has actually added a lot more enjoyment towards the sustained metal playstyle, and has allowed me to actually enjoy playing Cream. So, good and bad. And it's for that one guy that made that video, it is not worse than Epstein, guys. Okay, so one thing for Colossus in specific, you want to try to stay as far away as possible. Distance is king, and that's the only thing you can really do against him. If you're close, you don't have any like quick abilities. All your abilities have charge up. And what you want to do is you want to stay near springs. That allows you to get some vertical distance, which means you can't get hit by M1 or any of his abilities. You're safe for just enough time to use destructive charge and then get away. That's the main thing you can do. That's the main thing. That's just overall what you're supposed to do. Don't heal if you're an LMS unless it's 2 ticks worth of healing. Then you can use certain spots if you have enough distance to heal just enough to get away. Do keep in mind if you are at 49 or exactly, if it's going to put you at 49 or exactly 50, there's a chance it'll give you an extra. And there's a chance it'll give you an extra tick. So try to make sure you don't make it to there. Every tick is 7, so don't do 49 or 50 if 14 or 7 is addition to your health leads to that. Don't do that. Against Tailsdoll, there's no specific strategy. Tailsdoll is so versatile. They can be a trapper, they can be an aggressor, they could be cheesy scumbag. There's nothing really you can decisively do against them. You're going to have to adapt. I would recommend trying to manipulate line of sight by hiding behind obstacles at all times, even if they're not using their beam. Making sure that they don't have direct line of sight with you and they can't turn on their beam and hit you is a really smart thing to do. Because you're not a meat bag, so you don't take 25 HP. I think you take like around 15, which is a lot better, but you still really want to be safe. 15 can be really bad, especially with the landmines. Make sure you wrap around when you're using a spring. So don't land directly where you should land. Go around it if it's on a bridge or that one spot and you can't run. That not you can't on X's castle. That's really trapped. With that one spring, go over the bars. Go if you do that, it won't land directly where they want you to, unless they're using the actually good placement of where the spring is directly. Metal Sonic's really good against tripwire, especially if there's an Eggman, because basically what they can do is the Eggman and the Metal Sonic can move around like minesweeping the mines away. Metal Sonic can take the tank the damage, and then Metal can help heal it back up. Make sure if you're trying to heal, you use charge and then heal, because mines will give you an additional like 7-second cooldown for whatever ability. So just make sure you do the one you don't want to do, and make sure you play it safe. Against 2011X, just make sure you heal in between God's trickeries.